We have movies and books. We have some things out there right now focusing on the poker market. And I know Run and Runner is getting quite a bit of attention. How do you think that movie, which paints a bit of a negative picture on the online poker industry, how is that going to affect the whole drive to get regulation in the U.S., do you think?
Well, I mean, I think one thing is clear is that this is a work of fiction, right? And I think they've dramatized the potential of what could go wrong with an unregulated market. And hopefully the viewer will recognize that this is a dramatization. But I think some people will look at it and say, well, wow, this is such a bad industry. I think all of the arguments for why something is bad are also answered by this is why it needs to be regulated. So I think there is, and I know that the head of the AGA and myself have actually spoken about this a number of times, about there is an opportunity there for the Poker Players Alliance and for the gaming industry to point to this movie to say this is an exact reason why we don't want to have an unregulated market here in the U.S. where U.S. consumers can still access the market, but without any recourse, legal or otherwise, should they be harmed. And so this movie, I think, while it is a dramatization, I think there is somewhat of an opportunity to spread a message. And we'll have to wait to see how it does. I mean, anything that's got Ben Affleck and Justin Timberlake is going to be hot, right? They're very hot actors today, so it should do pretty well in the box office. And I think it would be a shame if at a minimum it didn't stir some sort of debate about the merits of regulation. And I think anybody who looks at the issue will recognize that regulation is really the only answer. You can't simply just kind of ignore it and stick your head in the sand as we have for the last decade.
Right, but then you have your Sheldon Adelsons of the world. So what do you think about his comments that poker is this cancer and it's addictive and all of that? What's that going to do to the whole drive?
Again, I think Sheldon certainly holds some influence at the federal level, and I think that's a complicating factor of why federal legislation is unlikely. And I don't know what Mr. Adelson's motivations are. Some would speculate that he certainly has a bottom line dollar motivation behind what he's doing. But I truly believe he just doesn't quite understand the opportunity there for his business to operate online. And I think he views his customers as more of a luxury customer and not someone who typically would play online. So, even though the market's not there for him, I don't think him trying to stop anybody else from operating in that market is very good. And it's really not. The poker players have certainly voiced their frustration. I don't think you can go to the Venetian website or Facebook page or Twitter and not see poker players kind of blasting Sheldon in the position of the company. But in the end, will one man's opposition make a complete difference? I don't think so. I think there's some limitations to what his opposition will hold. I think in the end, the things that are going to win out are the need for consumer protection, and you can't achieve that through a prohibition, and the need for revenue, and you certainly can't get revenue from a prohibition. So I think in the end, the policy is going to win out over the rhetoric of Mr. Adelson.
Yeah, and then we also have the online poker it's the all-American game, and of course, I'm sure you've heard that we've got John Cain who's been playing.
Oh, John McCain, yes, he was. He was, and as I would say, it's just proof that this is a great American pastime. One of what Americans would say a great American, war veteran, served distinguishedly in the Congress forever, and he passes his time by playing internet poker. So I mean, although he was quick to say that it was for free money,
yes, he did.
money, but if you were to poll all 535 members of Congress, I'm certain every one of them at one point in their life have played poker, and probably several of them have played online. In fact, Joe Barton, who we spoke about earlier, is an avid online player. He used to play for money, but he now says he plays for play money, which I believe him. I'll take him at his word. But he he is a very active player. He enjoys the game and he loves to play online. And I think for members of Congress who are traveling a lot, are attending hearings, which are sometimes mundane, sometimes long, and I think it's a nice distraction for them. So it wasn't surprising to see that Mr. McCain or Senator McCain was playing online poker, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are several other members that do as well.